well, in 1932, that could get him lynched and get him killed. So I, thought that that's probably why he was sort of pushing her away, like, get out of here, get out of danger, right? And the man clearly does say, I love you to her in the film. He says, I love you back. And also, I don't think that Mary was, and intentionally, she did not go to Clarksdale, Mississippi to chase down Stack. She was in this town because her mother died. So she was coming from burying her mother, and then, wait a minute, that's the love of my life at the train station. What's going on here? She didn't know that Smoke and Stack were back. Or if she knew, I don't know. There was no social media back then, no telephones. How would she have heard? Word of mouth? I don't know. So she just happens to be at the train station. And then she's, oh, wait a minute. She was probably overcome with passion and maybe wondering why he didn't react the same way to her. So in the juke joint now, it was actually Stack who let Mary into their business. I don't think Mary was doing a deep dive and trying to insert herself into things. I saw Stack confiding in Mary that he didn't think the twins were going to break even from the party because they had taken more wooden nickels than actual money. So they had, most of the people paid with store credit. And he was like, wow, I don't know. He was literally like, I don't know how we were going to survive. We're going to survive. We spent all our money. We literally put our whole lives into this um, event. And I guess this would be your modern day music festival. Years ago, some friends of mine invested in a reggae festival, and they literally lost everything because they couldn't break even. So Mary was sympathetic. So she was trying to get Stack more money. She was trying to save the business, actually. So when Stack related to her about the money, she said, oh, well, let me see if I can help. I'll go chase, these people down who turned out to be the vampires. Spoiler alert. Let me see what kind of money they have. Let me go try to get that money. And she, um, you know, it appears that Stack gave her permission. He was in agreement of her and going out and talking to these people. So it's not like she just used her white or mixed privilege to go out there and start talking to him. She did have um, Stack's approval, and he knew that she was out there. But the sad thing is, she didn't know that they were vampires and that her life as she knew it was going to come to an end, unfortunately. And, even after she was turned into a vampire, she gave Stack gold. Okay. So she gave Stack gold. She said she could have taken the money and her new vampire status and just flown off somewhere. I'm immortal, bitch. What do I need you for? I could go and get, Scott Joplin or whoever was the hot guy at the time. I don't know. But she came back in there to the joint and she brought him gold and said, this is for you. So I guess after that, I guess that's when maybe possibly Stack was so overwhelmed in his, her love for him and the gold and whatnot. Old passions rekindle, and then we have that famous scene. Uh, and then of course Stack's life was never the same again either. So yeah, I don't think that Stack loved Mary any less than Smoked loved Annie. And for another to talk about Smoke and Annie, Annie was very hurt and because she had lost a child and she hadn't seen Smoke in 7 years. So it occurred to me that she was the distant one when he pulled up. When he first pulled up, and he came into the store, she was kind of mean mugging him, like giving him a scolding tone. But later on, we find out how deep their love is. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't. I think that there's so many different kinds of love in the world. And I also, another theory is that I don't think maybe Smoke or Stack had the level of emotional maturity. They didn't have the level of emotional maturity to express love in a racist society. Both of these men have been through deep trauma. Their father beat them. One of them killed their dad. I don't know which one. Their house burned down. The dad died. They had to flee. They were in World War I, post-traumatic stress syndrome, and then they get caught up with these gangsters in Chicago. So I these cannot be emotionally well-heeled people, either one of them. And in one of the dialogue, I got to have to ask Ryan Coogler about this if I ever meet him. But when he what one of them said they were selling ass in Chicago. Whose ass were they selling? Was it a pimp prostitute situation, or was he selling his own? I don't know. That's another podcast for another day. That's another character breakdown. All right, y'all. Love one another. Peace. Bye.